Hello everyone, hope you had a good Christmas, and if I don't make another video until New Year, I hope you have a happy New Year as well. This probably will be my final video of the year, and what a way to end it than doing exactly what I did at the start of the year, which was Halo content. Halo has been on my Twitter timeline a lot over the past 24 to 48 hours, and it is because basically some modders that were restoring in-game content across all of the Halo games, or at least all of the games in the Master Chief Collection, aren't being paid and therefore have left. Now, a lot of you will hear that and think, well, what's the problem? And you'd be right to think that. Modders don't get paid. Not often do they get paid. Some might, some devs might pay modders via a contractual agreement. But these modders signed an agreement with Halo Studios, or at the time probably 343 Industries, to say that they would restore in-game content. This team was known as Halo Dig Site, and they volunteered essentially. There was no payment required. Now, to really understand why people feel so deeply passionate about this, and people basically why they're calling out Halo Studios, or previously 343, on this topic, is because community-made content and user-generated content has basically kept Halo Infinite and possibly even the Halo series alive since like Halo Reach, since Forge was really introduced. I know it existed in Halo 3, but it was very basic. Halo Reach is where you really saw the tools be refined, and Forge become one of the most advanced in-game tools for community content creation. Obviously as well, Halo hasn't had a good few years, and many believe that a lot of the goodwill and a lot of the praise that's been given to Halo, the few praises that it has had, are due to the community and not the devs. So that's people doing Forge content, the Dig Site team, etc. Many people feel that community members have carried Halo forward while the studio has just been dragging it backwards. And those people would all be correct. They're all correct. Like, the community content that's come out of Halo has kept it going. Every time I go back to Infinite, it's because some new Forge maps released. For example, the 1v1 playlist has been a favourite of mine over the past couple months, along with the map remakes from Halo 3 and Halo 2 in the Delta playlist. Those have been like my two most played, along with maybe like the occasional event, like the Snowball event or something like that. So really, those spikes in players are when community content is being delivered. Hello, I just want to interrupt this video to let you guys know this is not a sponsor, this is a giveaway. Don't leave, it's a giveaway. You want to listen to this, promise me. I'm giving away a watch. I'm giving away a League of Legends Jinx G-Shock, which is limited edition. This is a really nice watch for anyone who's into League of Legends or Arcane, for example. Recently, I binge watched the 2 seasons of Arcane in the space of a week. This channel has gained over 17,000 subs in 1 year, so I thought, this is a way to give back. Admittedly, only one person's going to win this, but I don't have the funds to give everyone one of these or give everyone something. So yeah, a bit of a giveaway. You can enter that via the link in the description. It'll be pinned in the comments section, or you can go to my Twitter and it will also be pinned there. Entries will close to win this on the 1st of the new year, so January. Okay, and then you get onto the modders, like the Dig Site team, bringing back missions and maps and game modes, weapons, characters, etc. from previous games. Some of the most popular were being able to play the E3 Halo 2 mission that was demonstrated, and I believe also playing the E3 Halo 1 mission, the Combat Evolved mission that was shown for Macintosh. Halo in third person before it became an FPS is also recently being restored. And obviously, the team that was doing those things were putting in a lot of hard work and a lot of time. And therefore, because they weren't getting any compensation for it, eventually I think many of them decided that they were going to stop because they couldn't anymore, because it was taking up too much of their time. Some of them, I believe, even said they couldn't afford things like rent or food. And while that is sad to hear, and obviously I understand why many members of the community are upset that they weren't fairly treated for their work, essentially. You know, many people saying that the dig site crew were able to pull together a community that made Halo cool again, they deserved better. You know, essentially they delivered some of the best things. However, you have to really think about this. You know, they signed an agreement to be volunteers. It's not Halo Studios or 343's fault that those guys can't pay rent. They had no obligation to spend all day every day working on Halo mods. It's not 343/Halo Studios' fault if those people couldn't manage their priorities. Like, should they have been paid for the work? Probably, but they signed an agreement knowing that they wouldn't be. So you then can't complain that you're not being paid and can't afford to do things. Step one should have been lay back on the Halo modding a bit, you know, step back from that for a little bit. Let's say you're doing, I don't know, say you're doing 5 or 6 hours a day of that. Push it back and only do 1 hour a day of it, only do 30 minutes a day of it, and go and get a job. Like, the priorities of the people clearly just weren't, you know, correct. I hate to put it that way, but like, that's what it comes down to. Do they create amazing stuff? Yes. Have they kept Halo alive? Yes. Should they have been paid? Yes. But you can't pin the blame on someone when those people signed an agreement that they wouldn't be paid. Like, it's like me starting a new job as an intern, signing that agreement that I'd have like an apprentice or even not even a wage at all because I'm an intern, and then 6 months in complaining that I deserve to be paid 25 to 35 grand a year. Like, no, I signed the agreement. Like, it's just silly. It's so silly. Like, no. So that's the drama recently. Look, personally, obviously, like, yeah, I feel for the people that have spent all that time in it, and like, maybe they feel like they didn't see any reward, for example. But like, look, if you were doing that, you should have been doing that as a side thing. You should have been doing it to teach yourself things, to learn. You should have been maybe making your own IP on the side. I always say this to devs who are working on fan projects. Fan projects are a brilliant learning experience, but please never, ever, ever, you know, as a game dev myself, I've worked on Halo fan projects. I've worked on 3 of them. Some of them you may know. For example, I helped out with a game called Halo Galaxy of Combat many years ago. That, I believe, transitioned into Contingency, which is still going today. I've QA tested for other things like Installation 01. I made my own Halo fan game like 12 to 16 years ago or something called Halo Missing in Action. You know, I worked on Splitgate for a bit and was not paid for many months, and then eventually they did give me a contract for that. But like, you know, don't go into doing these things that you agree to essentially be a volunteer in, expecting to be paid eventually. That's just not how it works. It's very rare that a dev team will actually go ahead and hire modders or volunteers. Like, you're probably gonna have to do it for a very long time. So just work on your own stuff. That's what I did. Make your own IP. Use the skills that you gain. Make your own IP. Try and get a job in the game industry in another studio. Don't bank on the fact that you're gonna be getting some reward for doing modded content in Halo. It's not the way that Microsoft works, right? Now, I believe that the dig site team tried to work out some agreement with Microsoft in terms of like being paid, and essentially they just like couldn't come to an agreement, therefore they left. Like, fair play. That's, you know, yeah, exactly, that's good stuff, right? You couldn't afford to pay rent, etc., and Microsoft didn't agree to pay you, therefore quit doing it and go and focus on other stuff. The people that did that, brilliant. The people that then go on social media and complain that they weren't being compensated, etc. Like, there's just no need. Stop crying. You know what you agreed to. And further, the people in that team that decided to then go all rogue and like start leaking things as like a retaliation, you've burnt a bridge that the other modders and community members have been trying to build between community and the Halo studios for many years, maybe even for decades. You know, the trust from that studio now has probably been diminished massively due to the actions of the few that, you know, leaked these things. So that sucks. So yeah, if you made it this far, essentially a few members leaked a ton of data. I can't remember the exact amount, but like basically gigabytes upon gigabytes of unfinished and unreleased data from Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Reach, maybe even 4, and maybe the anniversary editions of Combat Evolved and 2 as well was leaked. Like, for example, the Halo when it was a third-person shooter or an RTS, a Guardian Halo 3 mission, weapons, etc., all leaked, and many of it just playable through like a Windows exe file, which is crazy. I believe it's 90 gigabytes. That was the rumor, I think. 90 gigabytes, which contains, like, you know, documents, builds, tools, you know, all sorts of things, which is cool. But, you know, it's been released through nefarious means, through the wrong methods. You know, this stuff should have been given over a period of time in a legal manner, not leaked like this. So yeah, the people who thought, you know, doing this would achieve something completely wrong. You know, like we said before, you've burnt a bridge that many people have been trying to build between community and devs for years upon years upon years, and that may never be rebuilt as a result of what you've done. So yeah, that's basically it. Some people may have watched only a few minutes of this video and may feel that I've been pretty harsh, but you know, as somebody who's worked on 3 video games in his life, somebody who's been through a period of time where I had basically no money and no job, and had to get my priorities straight, you know, I stopped working on my video game and stopped working on my other little passion projects, etc., to ensure that I got a job. I put all of my time and efforts into getting a job to ensure I could pay, not rent, to ensure I could pay my mortgage, etc. So I feel like I am able to be a voice on this and talk about this. So yeah, I don't think I'm being harsh at all. I think I'm being realistic. You know, I've already said, to end this off, just to remind people, I've already said it does suck that they weren't paid, they weren't compensated. It sucks they put so much time in, they were loved by the community, and they weren't fairly compensated. However, you did agree to that, so you can't complain. You agreed to it, you signed the contract. You know, if anything, maybe this is a lesson for those people not to sign a contract without trying to negotiate first. Don't try and negotiate after. So yeah, you know, that's it. And for everyone who worked on those mods and didn't leak things, for those who stayed true to the agreement and things, I hope you have success working for other dev teams, maybe your own projects. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 of them already started working on their own games. Those people, very smart. Wish you the best of luck working on those. Some of them I've seen look very reminiscent of Halo and things, so that could be cool. Focus on that. You know, that would be my suggestion. If you're talented enough to get picked up by Microsoft and Halo Studios to mod Halo, you're probably talented enough to make your own indie game or join an indie team and make a game. So just do that, right? Alright, thanks for watching this video, and goodbye.